Hello, hello. This is Access to Experts. Yeah, we're the experts. Well, actually, Sherry is the expert in this case. And if you're here because you saw the goal setting, how to get it out there easily, are you achieving your goals? So I know I am sometimes, and sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes I decide I don't even want that goal anymore. So how do we manage all this? How do we discern? How do we do? Yeah, well, that's why Sherry's here. So Sherry, here we go. Thank you so much for being here again.
Hi, happy to be here. I'm happy, joyful, and free.
Three.
But pleasure as always. Love being here.
Yeah, no, we're just, this is so fun. Um, I love that we can actually joke around and be playful about something that's so serious. It's about our happiness. It's about our life. It's about managing every aspect of our lives. It can be so overwhelming. And sometimes it just feels like a
Mhm.
tsunami, hitting us. And it's like sometimes it just feels like I'm a juggler in a circus, it's like taking on too many things. And so what happens is sometimes I just kind of, hey, I just have to stop. I just have to stop and reevaluate, reassess. And so this is why I'm like super excited about today is because I think if we manage our expectations, if we plan in a more realistic and reasonable way. I mean, sometimes I think what I ask of myself is an unreasonable request. So how do we do this? What are those simple steps? Anyways, that's what we're going to dive into. So, Sherry, get ready. So, what is today all about? How is goal setting simple?
Well, we're going to start basically step one. Everything that is simple starts with just a step one. If we want to get to that big win, we have to know again, here we go, folks, that physical, that cognitive, that emotional. It's one saying, are we physically ready? Are we physically able to take on the goal that we are setting up for ourselves? Because there's nothing like having these big, massive dreams, big aspirations, huge sets of goals. And then if the physical is not there to carry us through to seeing out those goals or reaching those goals, how do we even get there? So, step one, let's go ahead and say, hey, physically, are we ready? Am I feeling well? Or do I have a cold, a cough? Are my allergies acting up? Is my blood pressure in order? Is my whatever the case may be from any kind of internal stance? Am I physically able to go ahead and take on something? Is my body ready to add a new piece to my life and my lifestyle? Because sometimes our goals are very big. Ann and I set out on this huge adventure to come to you 5 days a week. We had to ask ourselves, okay, can we get up and get ready in the morning? Can we make sure that we're going to go ahead and somehow manage to fit in food somewhere in there? Can we get to sleep at night? And physically, are we capable of taking on something else, or is it going to fatigue us? I think we both came in a little bit today with that, okay, day four, physically, we are feeling the weight of our new adventure. And you know what? We shook it off and said, yes, absolutely. We were so ready to go and do it. We both went and revamped, revived just a little bit. I took a nice little walk. I grabbed some food and took care of her early afternoon routine. And so physically, we are here. So that's the same thing that you're going to have to do once you set your mind on a goal. That physical preparedness is step one.
So that's the immediate. That's the immediate
Mm-hmm.
goal setting. The things that I have planned for today, the things that I want to achieve, or things that are already there. Is it realistic? Can I do it? Am I physically
Mm-hmm.
able to? And also, like, since you brought up our example, this is a new venture. This is something new that we have committed to. And this is an addition to all the other things that we're already doing. So that was a really important consideration for both of us. and to carve out the time for this. But then there's the long-term goal, physical goal.
Hmm.
Excuse me. So that one is like right. My I have a hair that's just sticking in my eyelash, right? So come on, there we go. Okay, so now I have a goal of losing 30 pounds. No, that's not going to happen overnight. So what am I going to do physically? How am I going to plan? How long can it take? What am I
Hmm.
willing to do to shift the my eating habits? Do I go through a nutritionist? Do I know what to do on my own? And so any time that I am taking on something new, it's like, do I have the skill set to do this? Oh, who do I need to go for help? And is this realistic? And so those of you, and the reason I'm bringing up the weight, I'm totally transparent. By the way, part of the reason why I am doing it this way is because, hey, you're announcing it to the world.
Accountability, yes.
There you go. There you go. Accountability. And then something happens internally for me and for us, the people I have worked with over the years. It's when we are willing to actually verbalize. It's not just what's swirling in my head, right? It's what I'm willing to. It's like announcing it. It's claiming it. It's real. I'm doing it. Something
You're owning it.
I'm owning it. There you go. Something shifts inside of me, and I'm like, yeah, I made a decision. I made a decision. It's like what I use is that what I call it triple A. So it's like I'm aware that I want to lose this weight. I'm aware that it's a hefty goal, and so now I accept that I am taking it on. I accept that I'm going to do it. So next comes the action steps, and this is what I'm
Hmm.
willing to do. So actually, the benefit of having both of us here, because it's just like we do. Well, we both have been. Um, we've been through.
Go ahead, throw us out there.
Yeah,
Just throw it out
yeah,
there.
well, we've all been through around the block a few times, okay? Both of us have been. So we have the life experience that we could share with you, and who knows what's going to come out of our mouths? You just hang around.
I have great thighs and calves because I've been around that block too many times.
so so but in addition to that, Sherry is here to bring us the science of it all, and so I'm really excited about that. So having said that, physically, then we go into the mental aspect of it, our brain health, right? So back over to you,
Mhm.
Sherry.
Back into that cognitive space. It's having that knowledge base. Do we actually possess what we need in order to achieve our goal?
Mhm.
Sometimes this requires a new set of learning, perhaps certifications, perhaps taking extra courses for those that want to adventure into, say, entrepreneurship or even becoming a coach. Both of us here do coaching in various levels to various degrees as part of our regular career.
Mhm.
But for those of you that want to go and do this and you don't have the skill set because you're not sure of which steps go into it, that's that cognitive space that you go into and say, okay, I think I need to add maybe some educational components. Maybe I need to go attend a couple of seminars so that I am learning all the skill sets that are going to be required. And so it's this acquirement of knowledge left and right that allows us to be cognitively ready to start achieving our goals. Without that cognitive space to say, you feel safe and you feel secure in the knowledge that you're about to put forward to meet your goals, we won't move efficiently forward when we may push out those goals. And then we know that any type of goal that has a moving finish line is not a goal, it's an aspiration. And we may or may not get there. So, this is how you take that cognitive space and really outline a clear path that you can follow from the mental side, the mindset side. It's that readiness stage.
So Sherry, I have a question about that.
Mhm.
Um, do we lean into what we already know and have expertise in, where we already have the comfort zone, if you will, and then build on that and then go learn to put on that? What's the best way to actually set a goal so our brain will cooperate?
Oh boy, big question. Because comfort zone is always a little bit tricky. What if our comfort zone was in chaos?
Mhm.
Should we really enter into more chaos as a goal? Definitely not. Should we follow maybe a path that we were told? And so we learned all these years along the way as a young adults and budding employees of some sort to just keep going in that direction. But from that internal passion side, maybe we want something totally different. And so it's going to be scary to go learn all brand new information. This is where assessing, can I commit? Can I commit if it's going to be something brand new? This cognitive space that it's going to take, do I have capacity for it? Otherwise, maybe some things will just become passions and great dreams, but not necessarily something that we're going to become an expert in. But if we can make that space and say, okay, I'm committing to this whole brand new, never been touched adventure for myself because that's what I really, really want. And I'm going to implement the discipline necessary to follow this through, then no, we can go any direction we want. This is again where it comes into a matter of choice and empowerment. Empower yourself. We can't forget that from age 0 to 20, we were nothing but observational beings. We learned all brand new things every single day. We walked into every brand new school year not knowing what we were going to get, and we came out knowing everything that we needed to know. And then we went into the next year not knowing anything of what we we're going to get
Yeah.
and come out at the end. So that's the approach to take.
Okay. So, yeah, that makes so much sense. So, we go from mental, mental to emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and where does between these two the unconscious and the superconscious live? Is it are we leaning
Mm.
more with the our cognitive mental health? Are we looking more into our emotional and spiritual health? How does that work?
Well, we're now going to venture into two different
Yeah.
realms. So the cognitive side, again, is going to be our base knowledge, and we will have feelings. So we'll have some emotion about
Mhm.
that. But from the emotional side and emotional readiness, we're going to look more from this self esteem, confidence, the generation of feelings and emotions about it, really understanding where our fissures are in terms of where our self esteem may leak a little bit or not be fully intact, if you will. And so we have to work on those things. And that's part of this being able to achieve your goals. We have to be able to fill those fissures properly. And so, from a very conscious and a very cognizant state, we can say, I recognize this about myself. I recognize that about myself. I understand that I have successes and failures and periods of deficits but I can go change some of those things. But on that subconscious side, then we get into a little bit of that primal fear, which we'll go into next
Yeah.
week. We are all going to create a little bit of anxiety to something that's brand new. How do we not have some level of anxiousness about something we have no idea what tomorrow is going to look like for us? Because right now, you have no idea what Monday is going to look like for us.
Yeah.
When we talk about fear and faith. So it's going to be a play back and forth, kind of like sitting on that seesaw. You know, for those of us that had those back in the day, I don't think they're allowed anymore. But it's that going back and forth of can I, will I,
Yeah.
have I, or
Yeah.
won't I?
Yeah. So I'm finding myself, I work closely with, coaches, who want to be
Mm-hmm.
interviewed on TV. They want to create their programs, and we always have the conversation about the mental and the emotional. How do they collaborate? So for example, somebody who wants to be a coach, and
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I have to go get certified. I have to, like, well, you know what? We're all always coaching. We're coaching our children on how to
Yes.
pick up that spoon. We're coaching our friends, and we're coaching ourselves. So we're already a coach. If we take on that mindset, that's the first one. So the brain is like, yeah, okay, I'm already coaching, and we can find many examples how we are. And so then the emotional is like, look into what I call, bring the future to the present. It's just a fun thing, visualization. That's all it is. But it's like, well, if you picture yourself coaching this group of people on what you just got so excited about, something that made a huge impact on your life, and maybe in your family's life, and maybe in your community, something that got you excited. Can you see yourself sharing that information? Can you see yourself getting excited about learning more about that information, whatever that is, and becoming an expert at that? And they're like, yes. So for me, um, I have to tap into my spiritual side too.
Hmm.
Here's the part, and this is gonna we're tapping in a little bit here because we're gonna talk about this on Monday, like Sherry was saying, the fear and faith. So for me, I have to tap into my spiritual side to allow myself to see the bigger vision, to see myself bigger than my emotional side will even allow me. Now, it's like, oh, that's really good. I'm excited, but oh, can I do that? And I'm like, okay, God, here, let's play here together. So it's all these different layers that kind of play together that's so exciting for me, and that's why one of the reasons why I'm very excited about what we are doing right now about this becoming happy, joyful, and free in every aspect of our lives. And so I don't know where I'm even going with this right now because it's a bunch of things that just kind of came out. But coming back over to you, so come back over. So, how do we make our mental and emotional have a real nice dance together? Let's see.
Well, I'm Filipino, so I came out doing the cha-cha. Just it's comes with it. We're born to move our feet. We are born to
Oh, we
dance.
need some music
And
now, right?
hey, all the time. So actually what you were saying fits right in and you didn't even realize it. It's when I was talking about those fissures in self-confidence, those fissures in self-esteem, when we reach out and grab a coach, this is how we can help fill that emotional spot of our goal setting because maybe we can't do it on our own. And you really fill the fissures in people's confidence when they're not sure. You help build their self esteem. We both coach, but on different levels, on different avenues with different populations. But that's what you've been doing. And that's what's filling that emotional space for them while backfilling the cognitive space because you're giving them the information and then you're creating that feel good for them as well so that they can turn around and say, I just got all this information. I'm ready to go. Okay, I got this. That's how we build this goal setting piece with the help of others, with the help of information. It didn't have to be information directly from a book or a certification. It could be information from the person across from you, the person that you love, your family members, stuff that you sought out on your own, but you didn't even realize that that's what you were doing. Again, this is how it becomes very simple if we're willing to accept all of these things coming in as adding to our breadth of knowledge, adding to our emotional centeredness regarding our goals, because it allows us to utilize that disciplined state and push it into that motivation state and say, now I'm ready to go.
Yeah, especially
Because
now.
discipline,
Especially right now, there's so much information available. I mean, I don't know where you're watching this. I don't know if you're on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, hundreds of other places right now. Um, information is so readily available. And
yes,
we're going to be bringing you a lot of information, but whatever topic you're interested in, just Google and go to YouTube.
yes,
If you like to read, go to Google, which will direct you to your YouTube anyways. If but I love videos. I'm all about video, so I go directly to YouTube, and there's everything there. And so the beauty of it is that there are many resources for us to get information, and for me, that's very
mhm.
empowering. It's like, oh, I don't know this. Yeah, well, I don't know it, but I know where to find it. So, do you think that plays a big part in us being courageous in taking the next step, if you will, setting a bigger goal than we normally would because we know there's always level information as
Yeah, as long as it's something that is achievable and is attainable. We don't ever want to set ourselves up for failure with a goal that's too big.
Mhm.
Because if I set the goal of, I'm going to make $1 million in 6 months, can that be done by some? Sure. Can that be done by me? Probably not. I'm doing a whole lot of humanitarian work. I don't see $1 million coming in humanitarian work in 6 months. So, what would be achievable? Do I want to hit 6 countries in 6 months? That's more of a big goal that I would absolutely be able to achieve.
Mhm.
So, this is knowing how big your goals can be, again, and tapping into the physical, that cognitive, and that emotional. Am I going to be physically able to go and achieve these big goals that I'm setting out for myself? Am I going to have that cognitive space to take on the challenge of moving forward through to getting that big goal achieved? Am I emotionally ready for whatever may come, whether it's the joy of success, whether the frustration for roadblocks or speed bumps, or perhaps even that emotional turmoil and disappointment that sometimes comes with not meeting milestones on our way to our goal?
Yeah, you just brought up something really, really, really important. Um, for me, I stopped looking at the things that didn't work out as frustrations. I'm like, "Ooh, another learning opportunity." Just
Mhm.
making that switch, intentionally making that switch, all of a sudden is what did I learn and how can I use it? And instead of it discouraging me, it actually encourages me. Oh, I didn't know this. Well, if I do it again, I'll be sure not to trip over that wire, right? And so
Yes,
so our mindset plays a huge, part in whether we move forward or we step back. Yes.
absolutely. And it's something that I say in my clinical practice at least twice a day for almost all adults from every generation. Success is a wonderful passive acquirement of knowledge. We did it right. Sure, it came our way. It just happened to have worked out. But when we fail at something, that is a huge opportunity because we learn twice the what not to do, and then we get to learn what to do.
Yeah.
So this was nothing more than exactly our 0 to 20 growing up. We learned so many things that way. I love learning. I love the failures that come along the way because I need to get those out of the way. The sooner I get those out of the way of what not to do, I am surely on that path and on my way to that goal of I am getting there now because I shoved out the speed bumps again, the roadblocks, all of the mishaps that can happen. Glad I got that out because especially for those that are developing business programs, we want the everything that can go wrong taken out first.
Yeah.
So through trial and error, this is really why appealing to coaches and becoming coaches and this type of professional and business development, you really do have to look into what's everything that went wrong in my life because I want to make sure to not replicate that.
Yeah.
And then the learning points and the pivotal moments, that's what I want to replicate and expand. And
Yeah.
that's how we get to our goals.
Yeah. No, I love that example. Actually, I can give you my own example.
Oh, yeah.
I created my very first program in 2004. It was the marketing blueprint developer. We call it the big thumper, the 3-ring binders, the CDs and DVDs. It took me a whole year to produce it. And as soon as it was done, I was like, oh, this needs to be updated because marketing, everything is always changing. And so what happened is that I looked at it and said, okay, how do I make this so it's evergreen? How can I make it so I can update as I go? And so that it prompted me to not only help myself, but many people since then. So we bring in the things that we have prior knowledge of, because every time something goes wrong, we're like, oh, how do I fix it? Either we have the knowledge, or we go to somebody else who has the knowledge. So for me, it sprung up a whole new career of turning expertise into online programs because I needed to learn how to do that for myself, you know? So so do you encourage people to actually every time there is a setback to go in and like so take an inventory of past experiences that could come in and fill the gap?
Mhm. Absolutely, because that is the importance of learning. That is why we experience these failures, so that we can use them on our recall of, again, what not to do.
Yeah,
So if we've chipped away at something and it's created a pile of dust, because all those things that we chipped away with are things that weren't working, we're not going to leave the dust pile there, but we do remember what it was like to clean it up. So going back and tapping into the what didn't work is absolutely important for achieving that next step.
yeah.
And so it's not a bad thing to reflect in that way. Just don't live there.
Yeah, love it. And I know that that's the long-term goals we just talked about, and tripwires and things like that. But I do know that even just going back to our conversation when we first got here, what do I need to do right now? Low energy. What can I do? And what are some of the
Mhm.
things that I usually work? And I know that you actually wrote a book on this. You know,
Yes.
goal setting, how do we get ourselves getting so why don't you share about that? Open a page or pick something from that book and then share with us. And yeah, and Sherry, I think like I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here.
Oh, no. Okay, put me on the spot. I love this spot. So, one of the books that I have come out with is the Professional's Pocket Guide to Wellness. And yes, it is truly pocket sized, measured by me so that it fits in a suit pocket, also in a purse, but also can be read on your phone. Because when we're setting goals, part of what goes on is that our minds are here and there and everywhere. But are we covering all of our wellness all the way around? So, this guide to wellness is going to cover every dimension of your life in very easy steps, because we need easy when we're working on big plans. Right down to, look, what do you know? It's goal setting, and being able to take that moment to say, what do you want to achieve financially? How do you improve your physical health? How do you improve your mental health? How do you improve your emotions? What do you want to be remembered for? And so, something like this, or any type of resource that you can help with finding a balance to meet those goals and not lose sight of all of the things that we are needing to do. Because Anna and we had this conversation earlier about, we still have things that we need to do while we're working on our goals. It's stuff like this that helps us not get lost and lose our way when we really, really want something. And so, my offer to everybody here is that coming tomorrow, I'll go ahead and drop a link for this for download. So, my
We're going
gift
to
to
give a free
everybody,
download. You guys, you're going
I am. Otherwise, you can buy it on Amazon. If you want the actual hard version, you can buy it on Amazon. But that's my gift
yeah.
to get people to their goals.
Thank you very much, guys.
You're welcome.
Super, super duper bonus. So you want to look below the video wherever you're watching this uh, to to go and download the ebook, the free
Mhm.
gift that Sherry's going to be, putting the link below. By the way, get used to it because we have so many tools and resources and things that we've
Yeah.
been using over the years. So pretty much every time we're on, we're going to have some kind of a tool or something we're going to put below, or some kind of reference or whatever. So just get used to it. We're going to be your resource library. We are your resource
Mhm.
library, and we just not getting started really, because this week it was all about the preparation. This week, the theme is hopeful. So we're hopeful we will be able to set goals. We're hopeful we're going to be able to get things done, and we're going to be achieving things. And so um, it this week is over. It's the whole reason for this week has been, how do we go from feeling powerless to I don't know what to do. I don't know how to
Mhm.
decide. I don't know where. I don't know. Oh, I don't know, to powerful is tools and resources and knowledge and expertise and being able to assess what we have and how can we use it. And so, just a simple example, my mom was a great cook, and I'd go look and I was like, there's nothing to cook. She'll say, step aside, walk in there, take a few things, and then she would there would be a feast. I'm like, well, how did you find all this? you need to know how to mix things together. I'm like, oh, okay. So this is it. So if you feel like there's nothing in a cupboard, stay right here because they're
Yes,
covered full of everything that you need, physical, mental, emotional.
absolutely.
Okay, so with that, parting thoughts? Parting thoughts? Go ahead.
Um, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Yes, this is your subconscious calling to tell you, do not give up on your goal, even if that goal wasn't met in year one or year two. You never know if 30 years down the line, the one thing you wanted the most came right back in your way. It's time to crush it and get it. This time you have support, though.
Yeah, we do. We're here. Anyway, so super excited. We're very excited to be doing this, and it's helping both of us. We have some lofty goals that we're going to be achieving. We'll be sharing those with you as well. So let the fun begin and let the transformation begin. Let us just get out there and be living a happy, joyful, and free life starting today. Okay, so with that, thanks, Sherry, for joining me again. And thank you,
Thank you.
everybody, for joining us. And we'll be seeing you same time next Monday. Bye bye.